Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronny Haze, and this is the very first Dead Living Q&A. Now, first off, this is probably going to be pretty long. We got 3 pages of questions. There's going to be a few repeats here, so I'm going to try to skip over the repeat questions. And if you're new here, though, I want to put this out there. If you're new here and maybe you came here because you saw a picture or a preview on Facebook or something like that, there's an eye up here. If you make this eye appear on the screen, maybe move your mouse over it or touch the screen on a laptop, cell phone, tablet. If you make this eye appear, you can click on it. It'll drop down a menu, and I'll leave the playlist link in that drop down, or in the video description down below, I'll put the playlist. That will show you all the update videos until this point. Last week's update video, I put a lot of images and previews in that one, as well as like a good 20-minute discussion. So check that out if you're new. Other than that, let's get right to these questions. Like I said, I'll have to separate this into 2 or 3 different videos, so those, keep an eye out for them. I'm going to try to upload them so that way those who want to can watch them back to back. And again, if we don't answer all your questions by the very end of these Q&A videos, there's going to be like 3 of them, maybe even 4, because we got a ton of questions. Go ahead and ask new questions that we haven't answered yet, and I'll definitely be sure to add them in another Q&A. Starting this off, I can't wait for this to come out. Are you thinking of doing volumes, books, compendiums? Absolutely. We are looking ahead. That's a ways from now, definitely down the road. But we are looking ahead, and we already have the design of the first volume, and I love it. So we are definitely keeping that option open. Again, it depends on if it's successful or not. Hey, Ronny, do you know what price it will be? We're trying to keep it around the $3 price range, just like the standard price for comic books. Keep in mind, though, this is online sales only, so there will be shipping. And yes, we're trying to get it shipped out into as many places as possible. And if we do a Kickstarter, as an example, and there's different tiers for, let's say, a signed version or variant covers or maybe a combo pack, I don't know. Let's say you get a print or some artwork with it, whatever we have for the different tiers. Obviously, there's going to be different prices for all of those as well, plus shipping. How much of the story have you planned out? I think there's around 67 issues with another chunk I have in a binder that I haven't polished as an outline and put with those. Now, here's one thing. I don't want anyone getting frustrated. I've seen a lot of comments where people were like, this really motivated me to get off my butt and work on that comic I was planning on doing. Do not get frustrated, because if you haven't heard in a different video, I was originally planning on making this trilogy, a little out of my mind passion project, and then it was too big, so I decided to try to outline it and expand it into 5 movies, and it was in screenplay format for movies, and then I started to adapt that over to a comic book format. So I had years and years and tons of pages and handwritten story to actually pull from. So don't get frustrated, whatever you do, because I could definitely see that frustrating someone, being like, man, it's taken me a month and I only got like 1 or 2 issues written up. You're good. You're good. Will there be animal zombies? Yeah, the virus will affect animals. It's not going to be as simple as a zombie dog, but you'll see when that reveal happens. Since the feeding post is a large part of the story creatively, why not name the entire comic The Feeding Post? It's a mysterious title and a definite attention grabber. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Maybe we can keep that as a plan B in case anything might happen to fall through. I don't know why I was thinking for that word, but if anything falls through, we could probably keep that as a plan B. But I just feel like the feeding post is detached somewhat from a majority of the story, so that's why I didn't originally go with the feeding post. But I still love it as a story arc title. I absolutely love it. So I understand why you like it. How did you find your artist? Online. If you're online, there's tons of artists that are on Instagram, and there's also other communities online that I haven't even experimented with. Like, people were telling me DeviantArt and a couple other places. But as far as Instagram, if you follow the hashtags, you'll find a ton of artists putting up their art. In Dead Living, will there be human villains? This one's hard. The simple answer is yes, but it's not as simple as just like this gang against this gang. There's going to be an authority figure that will be an overall villain for a good chunk of the first part of the story, and there's also people that will be villains out of desperation. Like, for an example, and this is only an example, there's no boat. I know they did a boat in Fear the Walking Dead. This is just an example. Imagine there's a boat that holds 2 people and we have 5 people trying to get away. One of those 5 people are your main characters. Obviously, anyone they fight to get on that boat to live, anyone they fight with is going to be a villain technically. So there will be a lot of desperation, a lot of confusion. It's not going to be as black and white, especially in the beginning, because of the way it works. But the authority figures will definitely be the villains in the beginning because of how it's quarantined off the different areas. Do you have a plan for the first couple issues? Not really sure what you mean for a plan, but as far as story-wise, well beyond the first couple. Will we get a sneak peek? We're trying to show as many sneak peeks on Friday as we can. We call it a Fearful Friday preview, and you can find that in the link in the description for the Facebook page. It's MAPP Dead Living on Facebook, and that's where we post a lot of the images or this YouTube channel. And will you make your own website? Yeah, absolutely. Where is the comic taking place? I assume in the United States. Yes, the beginning of the story will take place in Pennsylvania in the United States. If a Kickstarter type deal does happen, will it be available in the UK? We are absolutely trying to make that work in the UK. The artist, James Milne, is actually living in the UK, so if we can make it work to where he's handling the UK side, I handle the US side, and then depending on which is cheapest for shipping, the most affordable, I should say, we will work out the details based on that. But we're doing everything in our power to get physical copies out to everyone who wants it, so we're doing our best. What's the zombie concept? Is it a destroy the brain idea? Yep, destroy the brain. Ronny, I am willing to pay. I want to get a signed copy. Yeah, we're doing our best to have a reward where it's a signed copy. So I will be able to order physical single issues online. Yes, we don't know where we're going to post them online yet, so stay tuned for that information. And you asked about a subscription service. We're not going to be doing a subscription service as far as every month getting a new issue, because we're not going to be able to do that yet. It's based on the success of the first issue. There's a lot that goes into that. We're going to have to promote it, push it, see how many people are interested, and then start on the second issue as far as doing the art for the artist, getting some promos done. So we're not going to be able to do, which I know that sounds bad, but I was looking at Image Comics, and they have comic titles where, like for example, Outcast just took like a 2-month break, and that's a successful comic. It even got turned into a TV show on Cinemax, and they took a 2-month break. And I think a lot of why they took the 2-month break was because of spoilers going from comic to show. I'm thinking that's what it is, but there's other comics out there like Manifest Destiny that took breaks, and other comics with Image that put out a few comics and then took a few months off to catch up on issues and then come back out. So that is common, even though it sounds bad. That is a common practice, so it's not as bad as it sounds. For whatever reason your comic don't do good, will you still tell us the story? I'm always going to try to get this story out here. You know, I don't know how quickly after this. I do want to invest enough time into trying to get the word of mouth out there. Absolutely. I don't want to put it out the first month, call it a failure, and just release, an entire script for the 50 issues. I don't want to do that. I definitely want to stick with it, push it, and build the interest. Absolutely. But I will always try to get this story out there. So some characters' stories will be told in flashbacks. Yes, absolutely. For parts of the story, flashbacks are crucial. How much money will a physical copy cost? How will you be able to buy it? Again, we're trying to keep it around the standard $3 plus shipping, and that's just for, the single physical copy. As far as where, we don't have a website yet to sell it on, but definitely stay tuned, because now that the artist is done now, we keep progressing forward. Like today, he just finished the last page of the first issue, which is exciting as hell. So then he went back and touched up the first issue's cover, because we put out an example image which wasn't official. So he actually went back to do the official first cover, and I'm hoping we can do the cover plus 2 variants called the Night and Day variant. and I showed previews for those because I love them. I love them so much. I think they're so awesome. A lot of positive feedback too on those. How does the rates work with the artist? Is it an upfront payment or a series of payments? You know what? Here's the thing with the artist and why it works so well is we're dedicated on putting this story out. The first artist I had that I was originally talking with, he wanted professional pay from day one. And I felt like, and here's the thing, I don't want to come off as a dick and say like you need to work for free. I don't feel like I'm in a position to say that. However, if you look at a lot of motivational speakers, especially like Gary Vee will tell you to go out there, do free work, get your name out there, do shit like that. So in a way, that's what we're doing. Me as a writer and a creator, or I should say as the creator, writer, and him as the artist, we're doing this for free, both of us. Neither one of us are getting paid to put this out there. And chances are when we do those tiers where let's say someone pays a little bit more for a signed copy or for a print, chances are we can utilize some of that money to help cut costs into some really expensive shipping in a way, if you know what I mean. So we're not going to be just filling our pockets with this. On my end, I don't need to make a single dime. I would like to be able to get money to the artist, get him what he deserves before I would ever see a cent of it. I'm not in this to make any money off it. I'm trying to get the project out there, to get it known, to get people interested. I want this to succeed. I don't need money out of this in the very beginning. I'm willing to not make money off the first 10 issues as long as I can get it out there and get it published, absolutely. But I want the artist to get what he deserves, you know what I mean, as far as financially for the work he's done, absolutely. What's up, buddy?
Ready.
What's ready?
The game.
Are you on the bloater? Oh, no, you're in the trap.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. I'm going to stop it here and check out the next video. We're going to do part 2 of the Q&A coming up right behind this one. Thank you for your questions. I really appreciate the support. I'll see you in the next Q&A. Subscribe, man.